right, welcome back to Last Second Sports, where we are giving you our take down to the last second. And tonight is the call-in show. I am so sorry for being late. Grant kept me way too long over there. Really, the listeners kept me way too long because they wanted to keep throwing money Grant's way. So more power to them. But we are here. We've already got a packed house in the back, so I'm not going to let you wait any longer. Let's jump right into it. I'm going to switch over this banner. We'll get to the callers. We'll be ready to rock. Let's frickin' go. Yo, Rodney, what's going on, man? You said you were going to call in.
Here you are. Good? What's good, my brother? How you feeling?
I'm feeling fantastic. The 49ers are in championship mode right now. NFC championship right around the corner, and I feel great about this game. How are you feeling?
Man, I ain't gonna complain too long or too loud, good brother. I had a blood transfusion the other day. Do you know what they hit me with, Jess?
What's that?
I'm gold-blooded.
Yeah, see, you got me feeling bad for you for a second. You had me feeling bad for you.
Yeah, man, I had to mess with you a little bit, good brother. Yes, it's all love on this end, man, out here in Richmond, California. So ready to get this party started, right? You heard me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's get it cracking. What's on your mind, man?
So listen, we talked last week. We talked about that Niner victory. It was 3 points, of course, on our side.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very, very good win. One thing I noticed, Jesse, when we talked about the special teams play and all that it entailed, and I want to talk about Brother Willis, man, for coming up big. You know, that brother had a high sprained ankle, and he was having some contractual problems, man. He was supposed to actually set out that game. So it was a blessing. Richmond, California, that's right. It was a blessing that he was able to do his thing. But here's the thing, you know, when they loaded 6 guys on one side doing that field goal attempt, if you notice, Willis slapped the guy's hand down, which allowed Ward to sneak in there and do his thing. The outside guy, of course, he had taken him outside, but had he not done that, then, of course, that probably would have been easy 3 points before the half.
Yeah, 100%. He was the MVP of that game. No question about it. And a lot of people did not see that. They didn't realize it. But that's exactly what happened. If Willis doesn't chop the arm down, then Ward doesn't get through free, and that field goal does not get blocked. So not only did he block the punt, but he's the reason that blocked field goal happened.
That's absolutely correct, man. I mean, the special teams was on point Saturday evening, man, in all facets of the game. A lot of folk didn't really realize when we talk about Tart making that play, running almost 70 yards, man, down the field, 50 yards down the field for the saving tackle before the half. That was very instrumental, of course, in holding things down before the half. And so the momentum seemed to switch after that had taken place. And, of course, with the Jimmy Ward block kick, that really had things on our side and moving in our direction.
Yeah, you've seen a lot of football, right? You've been around, right? So let me ask you this. In the playoffs especially, have you seen a more complete team win than that?
Actually, you know, I haven't, man. I've been around the game for a long time, Jesse, and I'll be honest with you, man. When we talk about continuity and consistency of a team game and not just one individual who stood out, I mean, you said Willis should have gotten the MVP. There's numerous folks who could have gotten the MVP or the co-MVP just as well. I think the Niners are on all cylinders, and they're clicking at the right time when you look at what's really going on. And you look at Jimmy G being able to rally around the troops. You know, he's a game player. He's a team player. I'm liking what I'm seeing in terms of his attitude. His feng shui is pretty good. You know, Jimmy had the drip on with the little black turtleneck and the purple pants the other day. So, you know, they got him swag gooish right about now. And he in the building and he feeling himself. You hear me? So, you know, you got to like a guy, man, who's buying into the concept of what this whole thing is about. I mean, despite his anemic play the other day, 11 for 19, a dismal 130 yards, whatever the case may be, that's cool. But if we can get Jimmy to minimize the mistakes, put him on a pitch count like they do pitchers, let him throw certain passes, whether they short dinks or whatever the case may be, I think he can manage the game very well, and we'll have a great chance at doing some major damage against the Los Angeles Rams this coming weekend.
Yeah, I agree with you. To me, he can continue to play very similar to how he's been playing. As long as they don't have more than one turnover, I think it's the Super Bowl is when he's going to have to amp it up. Because if they end up playing the Chiefs, they're going to need a lot more than what he's been giving them. Because we just saw what that team can do, how quickly they can score. I know the 49ers defense is much better than the Bills, but man, that Chiefs team is talk about a hot team. The 49ers are there, but so are they.
Yeah, and that's one thing for sure, man. We definitely don't want to get into a shootout with the Los Angeles Rams. I mean, if we can keep Stafford and those guys off the field and have their defense stay on the field for a lengthy period of time and just chew the clock up, pretty much have ground control and possession of the clock and let that be our ally and not our enemy, I think we can do some really, really remarkable things this weekend. That's one of the pluses that we're going to have to do in terms of. But other than that, man, we should be all right, brother.
I agree. What's your score prediction?
Wow, you caught me off guard on that one. Well, I'm gonna go with another 3-point victory. I'll say this, and you could put me on record with this one, brother. I say the Niners win 24-21.
I like it.
Yes,
I
sir.
also have it a 3-point game. I actually am picking the same exact score that they won with in week 18, 27-24. So I'm with you. I'm with you on that 3-point game. I think it's going to be close, but I think the 49ers are going to pull this out for sure.
Yeah, last 5 minutes of the ball game should be determined which way it's going to go. And I'm not talking about final score. I'm talking about momentum-wise. If we can get a nice little last possession, whoever has the ball the last definitely is going to win. So if we can have that last possession and we can run that clock out within 5 minutes and let it minimize as such, we can walk away victorious for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Rodney, you and I are going to link up at some point. This is the second good call you've had. We talked a little bit on Twitter. Let's figure something out, all right?
All right, good brother. I look forward to it.
All right, man. Have a good one. Thank you.
One love.
All right. So we've got a few comments. Tinker says, block this. I don't want to block it. I want to celebrate it. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Victor comes through. He says, you think the Rams blow up the team if they lose? No. Well, to a certain extent. I think guys like Odell will not be back. I think guys like Von Miller will not be back. And I think a lot of people are going to be calling for the head of Sean McVay. I really do. Tinker comes back in and says, do you even know what this D is going to do? Good one, man. That was pretty good. That was pretty good. All right. Let me give y'all some love for that. I appreciate y'all. Here you go. All right, Kevin B, we're going to you. It's going to be Kevin B, Crypto, Korean, 49er, Mike Miller, Niner Gang Podcast, Mav, Viet, Quest for 6. That's the order. If y'all can stick around, great. If not, totally understand. But let me be clear about this. I'm going to keep everybody to 5 minutes because we got to get through everybody tonight. And I got shorter time because Grant gave me shorter time. So that's where we're at. Here we go. Kevin B, what's going on, man?
Yo, what's going on, Jesse?
Hey, my guy. How you doing?
What's up? I'm doing great, man. I didn't get to call in last week. You know, after we beat those Cowgirls, I didn't get to call in last week.
You made it to the game, right? Because I remember Grandbaby was on the way. When did Grandbaby end up coming?
Grandbaby didn't come with that Friday night prior.
Okay, that's what you were kind of predicting.
Yeah, I ended up seeing Croc and Nick that Saturday night at like Texas Live.
Oh, did you?
I got a live. Nice. I got a Facebook Live video of Croc getting thrown off the bull, mechanical bull. I got Nick on video.
That's dope.
But man, it was live. It was all live in Dallas. So I didn't get to call and like tell you what Dallas last week. So I'm not going to even speak on that too much. We got that victory. But going forward, man, I don't care how they got to win. I just want to win. Saturday night showed me. Don't even try to predict how these dudes are gonna win. These guys won straight off special teams and that damn defense.
It's wild,
I did not see this one coming. I was sitting in the house, man. I was watching this game, and that's the most nervous I have been in a long time. I'm like, what's going to happen, bro? Because we couldn't get anything going on offense. I'm going to give Jimmy credit. I'm going to give him credit on the passes those guys dropped. But after they dropped those passes, man, we just couldn't get anything going. And Jordan Willis, Jimmy Ward, Huff, Eric Armstead. I mean, Dante Johnson, everybody, even Josh Norman came in for a like play or two. They played as a complete team that game. But I was watching you on my man's show yesterday on Croc Show.
Yeah.
You said something. You broke something down that I have not heard anybody like break it down.
Okay.
When y'all was kind of going back and forth about Jimmy.
Okay.
Everybody else is playing at an above average or an elite level, except one position, bro. And that position has to step it up.
It's
I have
not
never heard
hate.
anybody break it down like that.
It's not hate. It basically
it's not hate.
No, I've come to this epiphany over like the last 24 hours, and I just talked about it on Grant's show as well. I'm trying to figure out why there's such a divide around Jimmy Garoppolo, like a genuine divide in this fan base. And I think it's because both sides are right. Both sides are right, and nobody wants to admit it. That's the epiphany I've come to. Yes,
Yeah.
Jimmy G wins games. Like that's what people want to say. Well, he wins. Who cares about the stats? He wins, and that's true. But the flip side of that is the other side of the argument is also right in saying that he's a liability. Because if you look up and down this roster, linebackers, defensive line, offensive line, pass catchers, running backs, secondary, all of these units are above average to elite. He's the only one that's not. So technically both are true. And I think that's why there's a butt of heads, because really nobody's wrong.
Absolutely. And like I said, I give credit. I just gave credit. I was like, yeah, those guys drop passes because he threw some good passes. But at the same time, you got to be honest and say, when you broke it down like that yesterday, and I thought about this all day yesterday, I'm like, and I went back and looked at the game, and I went back and looked at that Dallas game. I'm like, everybody's playing at an above average on elite level right now. And I mean, I'm straight down the middle. Like when he does something good, I'm gonna give him credit.
For sure.
But when he is the biggest liability, anybody with eyes to see and who can take a step back and look at everything from an objective manner can actually see this, man. It's he's gonna have to raise his game. That's the bottom line. His game is going to have to raise. I'm not asking. He does not have to carry the 49ers. Everybody else is like good enough. But he's going to have to do more than he has been doing. That's the bottom line. People can talk about all he does is wins. All he does is win. Look, man, this roster is off the chain right now. We can't miss this opportunity, Kevin. Right here.
I don't know if he needs to this game. I really think they're that much better than the Rams. I do. I mean, call it cocky, call it confident, call it whatever you want, but I really feel that way. I think the Chiefs now, that's the game. If they end up having to play the Chiefs, that's when he'll have to do more. And it won't have to be a lot even then. You
don't have to do a lot.
250 yards, a touchdown or two, no interceptions, be good to go.
Absolutely. Like I said, I'm as far as the Rams, I'm not even worried about the Rams. But to bring the quest for 6 home, he's going to have to step his game up, man. Like I said, it don't have to be a lot. Just them turnovers. When you play the Chiefs, something like that, man, you cannot turn the ball over. Just play a clean game. That's all.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. I got to keep everybody to the 5. What's your score prediction?
Man, I'm not going to predict nothing. I don't care if it's 3-2. I'm not. After that last game, I'm not predicting. I just want to win.
Fair. That's fair.
All right.
Totally
all right, bro.
All right, Kev. We'll talk next week, man.
All right, man.
All right, later. All right. Well, somebody in the chat gave me a complex about saying my guy, because I do. I call everybody my guy. And I don't want to curse myself or the team. So I got to figure out how to not say it. But I'm going to say it at least 2 more times in the podcast. I guarantee it. All right. Spencer McCrae says, Jimmy takes us to enroll's ankle in the first drive and Lance wins. Everybody's happy. I don't want to wish injury on anybody. I don't. I like where you're going, but I can't do it, man. I just can't. All right. Tinker says, yeah, it's called faith, man. Okay. Thanks. And then Spencer says, Jimmy takes us to the Super Bowl, gets hurt. Wasn't that you that just said the other one? I'm pretty sure you just talked about him in the NFC Championship. Yeah, come on. You can't throw out all the scenarios. Like, you might eventually be right, but only one of them counts. 49ers Daddy says, great show as always, Jesse. Why do fans hate Trey? That's the one that baffles me. Like, this kid's supposed to be our future. I don't understand that one. And there's definitely a part of the fan base that can't, they just don't like Trey. So we'll see. Hey, we got a Rams fan in here. Rams fan, I think you were in the chat last night. Go ahead and call in, man. I'll have a good conversation with you as long as you can be respectful. I'd like to hear from you. Like to hear why you think the Rams are going to win. You should. It's your team. That's fair. Totally fair. All right. Let me give some love to these guys that threw out some money, and then we'll get back to the calls. All right. Korean 49er. I think this is the furthest you've ever been pushed down the list. Am I right about that?
I think it was fourth one time, maybe. I don't recall.
Okay. Fair enough.
Maybe.
All right.
I'm just happy about this playoff run. You don't get too many of these, especially since 2000, since when after that divide of when Eddie was gone. So I'm enjoying this run. I'm going to savor it. So I see that I think Jimmy needs just to play a clean game. If he can just play a clean game against the Rams and on both lines of scrimmage, play at a high level, I think I think the team has a chance of winning the game.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think this game's going to take perfection. I think that they have the Rams number. I really do, but they're going to have to dominate in the trenches, and if they can do those things, they'll be fine.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be any more complicated than just find a way to neutralize Aaron Donald and Von Miller, because just go right at them. There's nothing that I believe we should fear if you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Randall comes in with a conversation. Is there anything in the chat about other than Jimmy sucks or Jimmy and his interceptions? Damn, it's so repetitive. We get it. Yeah, I mean, I understand. I understand where you're coming from. It's definitely hard, right? There's as a fan, like, we should ultimately just root for Jimmy on Sunday. I'm with you on that, but people are entitled to their opinions, man. They definitely are. So I feel you, but at the same time, like, I got to let people air out their thoughts. All right, go ahead, man.
Yep. And also from that game on Saturday night in Green Bay, where Rob was wearing numerous layers to try and keep some level of warmth.
What a trooper.
I've worked outside in that weather, and that's not very fun. I've worn 6 layers just to make sure I can feel my toes.
That's brutal, man. That's so brutal.
This is true. So I got to give him credit on that. But
yeah,
from that game against Green Bay, if the special teams can even come up, making plays, if there's a muff punt and they recover the ball, that'd be great too. We're not asking for, Desmond Howard kind of returns.
Yeah, we don't care how it comes, man. Just win the game. You just win the freaking game. I don't care how it happens. I've said if they win a Super Bowl and they want to sign Jimmy to a 10-year extension and erect a statue, do whatever you want. I don't care. Just win the Super Bowl. Win the Super Bowl.
Yeah. And so I do have a question for you about what's happened in the NFL this past week with Sean Payton leaving the Saints, and it looks like Green Bay is entering a brave new world with being over $44 million over the cap, and may not be able to retain Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers. So do you actually see the 49ers possibly, next 2 or 3 year run being the dominant team?
I do. I just think I think it's going to be between us and the Rams, to be real with you. I think the Rams always are just so gutsy and willing to trade for everything. Although I'm curious to see if they lose this game, like how long do they continue to let McVay and these guys basically gut the future and go all in and not win? I'm very, very curious. So I don't know. I don't know how long I doubt he gets fired this offseason, but at some point those chants are going to get real loud if they can't pull it together. So they've gone all in. for me, like I said, that's the team. Arizona, I think, can be in contention if they can get the right head coach. Like if they got a Harbaugh, that would be scary. That'd be really scary. But right now, they just don't have the coach, and it doesn't seem like they're going to fire that coach. So good for the 49ers.
Yeah, and also I think can't remember. There's another team heading into the offseason that's $76 million over the cap before the next season starts.
Yeah,
it might be the Rams. I have to look at it. I got it from over the cap. So if anyone knows who that team is, that's there's another team that's got more salary cap. No, it's the Saints.
I was going to see it's probably the Saints. They were almost 100 mil last year, so chances are it's probably them because they keep pushing money. Which, by the way, that's probably exactly why Payton retired. He knew what was about to happen. He knows that they're not going to be able to compete. He knows that they're going to have to shed money. I think we might see him come back in a couple years for another team. I think he was just out. He was done.
Yeah. So
smart move.
To me, one last point before I give my score or prediction.
Yeah.
Do you think that the Vikings will hire D'Amico as their coach? Because I just feel it.
I think they should hire D'Amico. I think they'd be crazy not to hire D'Amico. Will they? I don't know. That's tough to say. But I think they should hire D'Amico. Absolutely. Especially if there's any chance that Aaron Rodgers stays there. Just watch the game tape from this last weekend. He gave him fits. He gave him absolute fits. So yeah, I'd hire D'Amico in a heartbeat. I hate to see him go, but I'm happy for him if that's what happens.
Yeah, I would understand you. So I'm thinking the 49ers win on Sunday, 28-24. Since it's a faster turf than the hard turf of Green Bay.
Yeah, no elements too, right? I would expect it to be a little bit at least closer to the Dallas game, but I don't see a 13-10 type game. There's no way. These two teams are too explosive in some points in their offense, and to be in perfect elements on turf, yeah, they're going to put up some points for sure. I agree with you.
So hopefully that happens, and thanks, Jesse.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right. Ramrod says, if the Rams stop the run, okay, we're done. We're done right there because the Rams are not stopping the run. I've talked to Cowboys fans. I've talked to Packers fans. Hell, I talked to Rams fans week 18. This is what everybody says. Well, all we got to do is stop the run. Easier said than done. Nobody's stopping the run. The 49ers run the ball. That's what they do. So the Rams are going to have to figure out another way to win. I'm not saying that they can't win in another way, but that's not how it's going to be done. The 49ers are going to run the ball. They will stop the run, and the Rams are going to have to figure out a way to win otherwise. Like, that's just the way it's going to be. There is no stopping the run. That's not a thing. So appreciate it, but that's not going to get it done, Chief. I promise. All right, Mr. Mike Miller. What's going on, Mike?
Well, we're going to win it all. It's kind of hard to beat It's kind of hard to beat an angel. Just saying. And I've said that it was going to be the Niners and KC several weeks ago after this happened, and it's just not going to stop. It's going to happen. Everything that I've said is going to happen. I said a low score last week. Somebody's just talking into my ear. So we're going.
I think, to be fair, I remember on the old channel we were taking predictions. I think you might have said Niners and Chiefs then too.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a long time.
Like I'm saying before the season, I think you might have said that. I could be wrong, but I think
it's going to be a rematch. Is what I said of that. But besides that, it's going to be 38-17. Butt kicking this time. We're going to destroy him. Sean McVay is going to have a little cry session after the game.
I love it.
I can see him sitting on the field just holding his head like in Home Alone where he did that. I can see something about like that happening. But 38-17 is going to be a good one coming this time.
I hope you're right.
We honored them, just like back in the 80s when we had that 17-game win streak against them. 6 games, 7 games, that ain't nothing. We've been there, did that once before on them. We've held them to 17 losing games in a row against us. No matter where we played them. So, but other than that, I mean, I think a lot of the Jimmy G fans bring it on their self. Everybody's talking about them and stuff, but we got a live stream we do in my group. I'm sure you've seen it where the game is played in the group. And you'll sit there and see everybody, well, why don't this person help Jimmy G? Why don't this person help Jimmy? Everybody's got to help Jimmy, And it's like they don't realize that, no, Jimmy needs to step up and do it himself. He needs to help carry this too. And all of his fans want everybody else to do it for him, but then shut up afterwards and give him all the praise for it. It's just the Jimmy G fans half of them are delusional, and the other half, I won't say it because I don't want to start that tonight, but
I feel you. I know where you're going, but I want to say this. I normally love the back and forth, with people that are like staunch supporters of Jimmy. It's just fun. I like to debate with people at the end of the day, but this last weekend I was genuinely peeved because I felt like there was so much credit to go to guys that never get it. Guys like Willis, obviously Armstead's completely stepped up, but there was so many praises that could have been given out. And for people to say that Jimmy came up clutch on that final drive, it drove me bonkers because I feel like in any other game but that one, like that's the one where you're taking so much credit from all the other players when you say that crap like that. That one got under my skin.
Without Jordan Willis, we don't win the game, period. We're not even in the game. We got 0 points at that point still. Everybody else but Jimmy won that game last week. Jimmy had absolutely, I understand there was 3 bad drops to start the game and different things like that. But I mean, Trey Lance has had bad drops when he's been passing because he throws it too hard to some people, or whatever, Aaron Rodgers had people catch the ball and fumble it, that's part of the game and everything. But Jimmy G really didn't do squat to help us win that game. Other than the very last drive, he had a couple plays, and that was it. And if 2 plays wins you a game, well, then why don't we end the game after the first minute of the game starting? If that's what it is. It's not. It's a complete full game. Jimmy G had 99% of the game that sucked, and 1% decent. And I don't want to give anybody credit for that. Give me Jordan Willis credit. He played hard all game long. Eric Armstead, all of them. Bosa even had 2 sacks.
Deebo.
Ebicon had sacks. Debo, just a monster.
Fred Warner turned that game around on that punch out fumble.
Started it, yeah. If Javosky Tart wouldn't have run the guy down, and stopped him from scoring a TD, it would have been over with at that point. There's a angel in the heaven that caused us to win that game, and I'm going to keep saying that. So you know what I mean.
Yeah,
but
sure.
We're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm not worried about anybody. I'm not worried about KC. It's going to happen. I'm going to get me a 6-time Super Bowl hat again. I've got the 5-time. I'm going to get me a 6-time here, and it's going to be within the next 3 weeks. So
I love it. I love it.
So somebody's helping us, and we're going to win it all, and ain't nobody can say anything about it.
Yeah.
You have a good night.
All right, you too, man.
All right.
Mike.
Bye.
All right, Ramrod coming in. He says Rams can keep up with the Chiefs. 49ers can't. Well, yeah. I mean, listen, styles make fights. We can talk about that next week when that's the Super Bowl. We'll have 2 weeks to talk about it actually, but I just think that the 49ers match up really bad for the Rams. You said 49ers and Titans would be a good matchup. We got a great squad. Hey, I appreciate that. At least you can admit that. I think the Rams do too. It's a bad matchup. Stylistically, it's a real bad matchup. So it is what it is, as Jimmy says. All right, Dion, are you there? You there, Dion? I got you. Okay. I'm going to bring you on right now, all right? What's up, Dion? You're super quiet. On? Okay, I got you. What's up, man?
I'm just chilling, man. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's championship week. Hell yeah, I'm doing good.
Oh yeah, man. It's definitely a good time out here in 49er land, man. I'm floating on cloud 9, but then at the same time, it's like they took so long to let up this stupid, let's ban the fans from getting in, So I kind of felt like, damn, bro, why y'all doing that to us? But you know what? Either way, they was gonna have to let it up because at the end of the day, they wasn't gonna sell that stadium out by themselves. They know they weren't. There's not. I don't even care that they're in the AFC Championship. Rams fans don't roll like that. They don't. But hey, it's gonna be a red out. I'm telling you, they're gonna be in there. Red jerseys, and we're gonna be in there deep. The game plan is very simple, and you addressed that Rams fan exactly right because Rams fans are, if we can stop the run, the key word there was if, and you won't because you don't. We run all over you every single time. I actually had a situation with a dude on Facebook where he was backing Jimmy Garoppolo. So I told him, I was like, if Jimmy's so great, what has he done in the playoffs? And then he's like, he wins. And I'm like, does he though? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay. So I hit him. All I did was drop facts. I dropped his actual playoff stats from 2019 and now. I said, what Jimmy has is a record. So when you look at his record in the playoffs, you're like, oh, okay. Cat didn't win every game except for the Super Bowl. Now, look at the production. Where are the touchdowns coming from? Where's everything else coming from? He automatically I'm a Niner fan, man, and I roll with whoever's on the team. That's what we're talking about. Now that I didn't hit you with the facts, we sitting here, and then on Croc Show earlier, bro, Darius Butler, what are you doing?
That was funny, man. Chris had him backpedaling more than he did in his career.
Bro, hey, man, look, it's no disrespect to anyone. And I appreciate that man for everything he did in the NFL, even though he didn't play for us. I respect him for that. But, bro, you had no argument as it pertained to why Jimmy should be there. He had no argument. There was no facts. And that's why Chris was like, do you watch our games? And when he said no, he was like, okay, then. So there's no reason for me to even keep going because you don't watch our games. He's like, I have a life. Okay, it's not about you having a life. It's just if you're going to have a stance on something, you got to be able to back it up with facts.
Yeah, you can't have a strong opinion on something and not know. Like that's, it is what it is. But at the same time, like I appreciate, I would rather hear from people that, hey, I don't like to get into the argument. I'm just going to support whoever the quarterback is. I'm cool with that. My issue, and I really wouldn't even go at people when they, about Jimmy G, unless they're the ones that are saying he's so great. Like that's where I take issue. But if you're just like, listen, I'm going to back the quarterback, like I am too. My job as a fan on Sundays is to back whoever's playing. Jimmy G,
pretty much.
It doesn't matter. Trent Dilfer, I don't care who the quarterback is. If they win, I love them. And on top of that, I'm rooting for them. But between the games and after the game, I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, and I've always told people, I'm like, look, if Jimmy goes out and throws 300 touchdowns and 4 yards, I'll sing his praises. Yeah. I'm just waiting for that to happen.
Right.
So that's my issue. And I remember somebody in my comments just died laughing. He was like, bro, you keep it a buck. I was like, I'm being honest, man. Like, yes, I get that quarterbacks have bad days. Number one thing for me is don't tell me about nobody else. I don't care about Justin Herbert. I don't care about Lamar Jackson. I don't care about Tom Brady because you know why? They're not on my team. They're not my quarterback. So that excuse for me flies out the window. The simplest, the easiest way for us to win this game is for us to stop the run, which we will do. And when it comes down to it, the other thing is we're going to have to limit Cooper Kupp as much as we can. We're not going to stop Cooper Kupp. He's going to get his in some way, shape, or form. You don't stop Kupp.
He's too good.
Yeah, he's just too good, man. That's one of the coldest receivers I haven't seen in a long time, man. And he gives me Julian Edelman vibes, but better.
Just way more explosive, which is
he's way more explosive because Edelman was scrappy and small and he did his thing. But Kupp is on a whole nother level.
Kupp's an athlete.
Yeah, he's a full-on athlete. And then it's honestly just stopping Higbee and OBJ. Because after that, what do you have? Van Jefferson? Like, who's afraid of Van Jefferson? Outside of possibly using him on an end around or something that may or may not work. But that's basically what it is.
I feel like Ambry Thomas has some swag going into that game too, because you look at that final drive, even like obviously he had the pick on OBJ, but there was like 2 plays where he manned him up before that, and OBJ got nowhere. I feel like he feels like he can guard OBJ.
Hey, and him playing is a big boost to the defense strictly because we need his help out there on that perimeter guarding those guys. You know what I'm saying? Because we don't flip at our guys. We don't have somebody traveling with Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp gets whoever he winds up getting. And the number one thing is to have those guys out there ready to go. Hopefully special teams can do the same thing that they did last week. As far as like making some plays and doing some things, I love it. Shout out to Jordan Willis and Talanoa Hufanga. I told everybody the minute we drafted Hufanga, I like this kid. I actually when one of our linebackers went down, I wanted to see him fill in at linebacker because I feel he can play a safety hybrid, linebacker role because he's that good. But at the end of the day, man, I'll say I'm gonna go 31-17. I think we give him a thrashing this time. I think what happens is everybody goes, oh man, it's hard to beat a team, that many times in a row. We've done it to this point, so what's going to be the difference now? The Rams may show some different looks, but at the end of the day, there can't be much that they're going to be able to do. But I appreciate you for having me, Jesse. I see my timer has run out. Don't want to keep it too long. Nothing but love. Hey, y'all, man, hit that like and subscribe button for Jesse, man. This dude is out here doing great work as a content creator in general. And, we as Niner fans, we appreciate all our guys out there to do that. We definitely going to red out that spot. And believe you me, when you watch on television, it is going to blow your mind. And Matthew Stafford's wife can't buy enough tickets to keep us out of there.
I love it. I love that they're all scared too. It's so in their head. I feel like they're under preparing because they're so worried about this game.
Bro, when we had to play them at the Coliseum, we read it out the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
My boy was at the game. He was like, bro, I swear to God, it's a 49ers home game.
I was like, man. Yeah. I'm telling you, that's what it is. I appreciate it. Dion, we'll talk in spaces. All right, man?
All right, bro.
Later. Victor came through with the super chat, my guy. I appreciate the super chat. I really do. I appreciate you supporting me, but you got to stop with the slurs. So I'm going to read it how it should have been intended, and I can't throw it on the screen. How embarrassing for McVay celebrating with his team only to choke a 17-point lead. Your thoughts on when you saw McVay run in the end zone? I thought it was super childish. He did. He acted like he won the Super Bowl, and he didn't. Like, he just didn't win. And it came back to bite him. It looks really silly, especially to do that in the first half. Ramrod says, I say 27-17 Rams. Yeah, that's fair. You should. You also did give us credit. You said that you could see the 49ers winning. That's respect. I could see the Rams winning. I could. I don't think it's that likely, but I definitely could see a scenario where they win for sure. All right, I'm going to get on to the next one. Viet, my guy. There it is. Whoever called it out in the chat, there it is. There's the first, my guy. What's up, my guy?
Hey, what's up, my guy?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great now. I've been recovering from COVID, actually. So,
that's no good.
No, but it's all good, man. I haven't had symptoms in a couple of days, so I should be out the woodworks already.
Good.
Dude, it was weird. Like I was watching that game on the stream because I'm in quarantine, and my parents are watching it live, and they're ahead of me.
Oh so my gosh! So you're hearing
I was like, "Hey, shut up!" Like I'm trying to watch the game, and so I kind of got spoiled by some of the big plays. But yeah, that was funny. But yeah,
that's got to be frustrating. You're like, you hear the oohs, the ahs.
I knew the Robbie Gould field goal went in before I saw it.
I'm sure you did.
I was like, it was a relief. But yeah, dude, you know what? I'm kind of with Mike Miller and the other guy on this one, man. We might blow him out. Like, I'm not saying I'm not saying that's going to happen, but listen, we've played the Rams. First off, Jimmy's never lost to the Rams, by the way. Never.
That's a good point. Very good point.
they've had 6 times in over 3 years, 2 different regimes, well, 2 different defensive coordinator, 2 different quarterbacks for them, and they haven't done anything. Like that game that I went to on week 18, that was the best game that they played against us since Jimmy got here. I think you would agree. And we took the life from them, and by beating them at the end, I think they're mentally broken right now. It seems to be trending that way. I don't know about the players. Obviously, fans, we like to speculate, but players think differently. So I'm not saying the Rams players are thinking this way, but obviously their wives are, and their community are. So it's obviously in their head. Like Sean McVay running onto the field, that tells me that it's in his head. Don't
they
you
asked
agree?
him. You heard that somebody asked him that today, right? They asked if Shanahan was in his head, and he answered no. He just said,
I mean,
no.
Obviously he's gonna say no.
Yeah,
but
translation, yes.
Yeah, if they haven't figured it out at that point, that was their best chance. I think they're gonna play us tough, and then I think we take over, and then it ends. The game will be close, but it'll end. It'll look like a blowout at the end, I think.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair. That's so I'll ask you, what's your confidence meter? Because going into Dallas, I said my confidence meter was an 8 out of 10. And going into Green Bay, I said I was at about a 5 out of 10. I felt like that one really could have gone either way.
I was about an 8 with Dallas too.
Yeah.
Green Bay, I think I was about 5.
Yeah.
To be honest, dude, it's fate, man. Like that block by Jordan that show was like the hand of God, bro. It just came on, and then it's just like if we win the Super Bowl, that would be the hand of God play. Or
that was incredible. Okay, so if your confidence level was, we got a gauge. Confidence level was at an 8 against Dallas. What's it against the Rams?
The Rams, you know what? It was like at a 7.
Okay.
But now it's kind of more just because I kept thinking about it. Like I was one of those guys that were worried about, hey, they got to get us one time, and like what a fitting way to become a champion than to beat you have to overcome. Like I've always said, if we ever win a Super Bowl, we got to beat the Seahawks in a big game.
Yep.
Otherwise, it would never happen. And I said this about the Rams. The Rams have to beat us. So it's the wheel of destiny seems to be in their. They have the opportunity to fix that, but we're looking like, one, we got this whole destiny thing in our side. 2, we've been owning them. And 3, it's been so much that it doesn't seem like this is the one that's going to break the trend.
Yeah, and I feel like they've had a pretty easy path too. Like, let's break down their path to this point. They played a Cardinals team that everybody knew was left for the dead. That team was not the same team that we saw early in the season. Then they played Tampa Bay, and sure, they're the defending Super Bowl champs, but that was not the same Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They didn't have Tristan Wirfs. They didn't have Godwin. They didn't have AB. That was a shell of themselves, Tampa Bay team. And they almost became a forever meme and poster because they were up 27-3, a lot like the Falcons were up 28-3 against Brady. And they almost gave that lead up.
He's going to fumble the ball.
Right. He did. Yeah, he definitely did multiple times in that game.
He got Butterfinger. Well, he got some slippery hands sometimes.
He does. And I wonder if that's in his head coming up, right? I mean, he did it multiple times last week.
Yeah. Agree.
So, what was the final score prediction? Did you give one or no?
Oh, God, I don't know. Niners win, Rams lose. That's my score.
I like it. That's the only score that matters. You're absolutely right.
Score that matters, bro.
All right, man. Keep on the uptrend on your COVID mend, and we'll talk next week.
Appreciate it.
All right, man. George coming in twice. I almost called you Georgie. George comes in twice. He says, as a 49er fan, we need to stop being so confident. I am being cautious. I still don't talk to me. I trust our defense, but we make mistakes and it scares me. You said Jimmy makes mistakes and it scares you. That's fair, right? Like, no game is for sure in the bag. I get that. But I mean, come on. Like, we got to feel pretty confident right now. Over the 6-game stretch, 3 have been 3-point games. The other 3 haven't been close. Niners are due for a blowout, 31-20. That's a good little stat you just threw out. You know what else that tells me, though? You know what else that tells me? That tells me that the 49ers are battle tested. The Rams, probably not so much. I don't know how many close games they won. I'm not saying they didn't win any. I really haven't looked into it, but I got to imagine probably not like that. So, yeah, I'm with you. I love the stat. Let me give you guys some love real quick, and then we'll get to the next call, which is going to be Lee, Quest for 6. Here we go. All right, Lee. How you doing?
Yo, what's up, Jesse?
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm excited for the game. Obviously, this is the matchup I wanted. I think I told you last time. The only team that I felt like matchup was in the NFC. They could give us a bit of trouble. I felt was the Bucks. So I'm happy we got through last week and we got the win.
Yeah, absolutely, man. You definitely wanted this one, no doubt about it. And I'm excited that we got that matchup for sure.
Yeah, I think I told you, I was more confident in the Packers than the Cowboys game, even though it did go down to the wire. Our defense, he held them to 10 points, Jesse. It was back like that old game when we played the Packers a couple of years ago where he couldn't do anything. Aaron Rodgers, even at home, he was struggling. He couldn't get into the groove. They started that first drive, and after that, our defense just kept us in the game the whole game, and then our special teams came up with the big plays. And you've seen it was defensive players in those special teams that were making them. Jordan Willis, like people pointed out. Jimmy Ward, and yeah, man, just the fight in our team's crazy this year, and that's what's probably going to get us to a Super Bowl and hopefully wins it this year. Even though the Chiefs are on fire, I think the Bengals, to me, they don't have a strong airline, so if they get through, I don't see them being able to compete with us. With our defense.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a team of destiny a little bit. And you said you were more confident in that Green Bay game than you were the Dallas game. That one threw me for a loop, but they got it done. It was much closer, but they definitely got it done. Kudos to you. I was not that confident in that game. I did pick the 49ers to win on a last-second field goal. I thought it'd be a little bit higher scoring, but I knew Green Bay was the one team. That was the one team. And if they could get past them, they'd be good to go. So I hope that that's the case. I hope that they can win again this week for sure.
Yeah, and talking to looking at the Rams, they're a team that we dominate. And it's matchups again. They have a weak O-line, plays into the strength of our team, which is the front. Especially our front seven. And if you look at behind their D-line, they don't have really strong linebackers. They've got a good pass rusher in Von Miller, and they have Floyd on the other side. But yeah, they're going to struggle because this is one team that Jimmy can play. And everyone's saying, Jimmy's been playing bad throughout the playoffs, but he's due for a game. And this is one team that he can actually play against. He can use the middle of the field. He can use George Kittle. Deebo's been turning up every week. So I'm expecting things from him. And even that last game we played against them guys like, Jerron Jennings, he turned up big in that game. And you've got Ayuk too. So I just feel like, this has got to be the week that Jimmy turns up. I hear people saying, he hasn't helped us really, Jesse, and he's due for this game. And this is a team that he matches up well against, I think, never lost.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. Styles make fights. They really do. And I just think that this is a really, really bad matchup for the Rams. They have shown that they cannot figure out how to stop the run game. There's nothing they can do about it. And that's a bad problem to have going into this one. So I'm with you. I think the 49ers win this one. I think it's a horrible matchup for the Rams. And maybe they do. I mean, some of these guys are coming in confident with their score predictions. Maybe they run away with it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm that confident, but I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10. I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah, I'm feeling like we're probably going to, in my head, I think we're going to win by 7 to 10 points. Just because I felt like if you look at the last game, we didn't start well. And that's one thing about the Rams is they can start well. You've seen it, the last few games they have, against us and also against the Buccaneers the other day. But the thing is, they can't afford to get behind against us. I feel like because if they get behind, I feel like you're going to see their confidence drop, and they're going to be like, oh, it's happening again. So I feel like they need to start fast. Does anything worry about the Rams? The only thing I'm sort of worried about, I wouldn't say worried about because I feel like we're going to win the game, but I just feel like we've got to contain Cooper Kupp because he can make those big plays. And if we're only a touchdown up, or it's pretty close. He's the kind of guy that Stafford will go to, and he always seems to be able to come up with a big play.
Yeah, I agree. Kupp's that deal. I don't think they can stop the run game. I don't think we can stop Kupp. But Kupp's gone off against the 49ers in both games, and it really hasn't mattered. So I think that the 49ers have proven that they can win regardless of what Kupp does. But the Rams have proven that they cannot win if the 49ers play their game. So I don't really worry about Kupp going off. It's who else, because I don't think they can run the ball against the 49ers. I think OBJ is good, but I think he can be contained. I really do. And outside of that, like, where's the offense going to come from? So let Kupp do his thing. I mean, they let Devontae Adams do his thing. Why not?
Well,
let
it's a
Kupp
bit
do
like
his thing, but let somebody else beat you.
Yeah, and it's a bit like the Packers to me, Jesse, in the sense that, we're going to probably try and take away their run, or pretty much bring it down to where they're forced to pass the ball. And if they're forced to pass the ball, then good luck, Stafford. Good luck dropping back with our pass rush, eh? You know what I mean? Good luck if D'Amico fires out blitzes, good luck. And that's the thing. I don't think he's going to be able to get comfortable, just like we've seen Aaron Rodgers and Dak Prescott the last couple of weeks.
No, I think you bring up a great point. I just broke down the game film from Week 18, defensive game film. This defense comes at you in waves, and it started that Week 18 matchup, but we saw it carry through in Dallas. 5 sacks. They had 5 sacks again last week. They are constantly in the backfield. It is a constant thing. It's very rarely is a quarterback dropping back and getting a clean pocket against this team right now. The 49ers on a different level, and that pass rush is so good because they can cycle players through. They're legitimately playing 9 guys on that defensive line with no hesitation. They will start drives without Bosa and Armstead on the field and keep it rocking. So they're they're not playing. Like, that team is coming forward. They're going to punch him in the mouth, and that defensive line is incredible right now.
Yeah, and that's one thing I've noticed, like, compared to 2019, even though we had a really good team, is the depth that we got on that D-line. Like, you don't know who's going to make the play. Like, obviously, Bosa and Armstead, always making plays. But anyone on that line, it could be DJ Jones, it could be the new guy we got, Aminahu. It could be, like, it could be Ibrahim. It's just like everyone's
could
eating.
Be Kevin Gibbons. It could be Street. Could be any of them.
And that's the problem that these quarterbacks face. Like, even if we do get through, say we face the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, right? Say they get through. That was one thing I felt like, the back end of that game, our defense started to get tired, eh? We didn't have that rotation of guys fresh just keep coming at the quarterback. And that's one thing that's going to serve us well going through, this season and through this deep into this playoffs. And if we make the Super Bowl, is that depth that we have in those positions.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. And I actually brought that up as well. I'm 100% with you. Lee, I got to get to the next one, man. We will talk next week, hopefully after a 49er victory.
I'm looking forward to it, Jesse. Shout out, Go Niners. And everyone that calls us tonight. Later, Jesse.
Later. All right, guys, here's the deal. I gotta cut it short tonight, but everybody that's backstage, I'm gonna get to all of you. So if you're backstage right now, I got you. So here's the order, and this is how we're gonna close out the show. We still got probably another 30 plus minutes, so don't fret, but just nobody else call in for now. I got Edgardo, then I'm gonna go to Jimmy, then I'm gonna go to Jackass Penguin, then Jesse, I'm coming to you, Jeremy, and then Will is how we're gonna end it. So I don't want anybody else to call in. Oh, and Al Show, you've been kind of having connection issues, but you were back there. So that's how we're going to end it. I still got 7 more callers. We're going to get through it. Should last another 30, 40 minutes. Let's rock. Before we do, Fat Boy XL1 says, I feel like this is our Jimmy Johnson moment. We will win the ball game. You can put it in 3-inch bold letters. We will win the ball game. I absolutely love it. George coming in again. He says, hey, Jesse, I'm not able to call in. I feel it. He says, I'm not able to call in today, but I got to say this something is telling me that this may go south. These mistakes may come back to bite us in the ass. I'm still picking the Niners 27-17. Come on. You know the Niners are winning. You know they're winning just like I know they're winning. Come on. All right, let's make sure that there's no more super chats. Ooh, missed one. My guy, Niner by nature, I appreciate you. October 2019, 49ers 20, Rams 7. Oh, here's the streak. 34-31, 24-16, November of 2000, 49ers 23, Rams 20, November 21st, November 21, 49ers 31, Rams 10, January 2022, 49ers 27, Rams 24, according to the history, since the last game was won by 3, 31-10. Jeez. Hey, 31-10, we'll take it because that's what we had, right? We already had it earlier this year. We'll take it again. I appreciate it. I got to show you love for that one. Thank you so much. You're always such a great support of mine and always tap into these shows. I love it. Here you go. I appreciate you, man. I really do. All right, let me get on to these callers. Edgardo, what's going on?
What's going on, Jesse?
Hey.
Yeah, let's just backtrack a little bit. Let's go Green Bay, right? Let's go. How were you feeling fourth quarter, 5 minutes left, and we haven't blocked the punt yet?
It was a weird feeling, and I'm just going to try to put myself back in that moment. I had a weird confidence about the situation. I definitely was worried. I'm not going to say I wasn't worried, but I had a weird confidence that somehow they were going to pull that game out. That defense just kept coming through moment after moment, and I felt like Green Bay wasn't going to put up any more points. The 49ers just had to figure out one or two drives. Like, that was it. Just give us a damn touchdown drive, and from there, they'll figure out how to win. The problem was they weren't scoring, and they weren't moving the ball well either. But in that moment, I was actually kind of still confident. I was.
Yeah, I agree with you. Score was like 3-10, 5 minutes left. And when I had made a bet with one of my boys, it was $50 bet, and he came back to double down. He was like, "Are you sure the Niners are gonna win?" And I was thinking about it. I was like, "Yeah, let's double down, $100." And everything just turned as soon as he seen the block punt scored. Everybody, I was through Green Bay Packer fans and just me. Everybody got quiet. Everybody got quiet.
Yeah. I
That
feel
being
it, man.
said,
I'm sure they were.
Yeah. That being said, do you think that like ignites a little fire under Kyle Shanahan's ass and like makes him dial up like a really explosive game plan?
Yeah, I really feel like Kyle's going to be in his bag this week. I do. I saw multiple things in that game that were dialed up really well. It was just, there was a lot of weird things that happened, right? Let's just go through it. First of all, the drops. So frustrating. And I tweeted about it. Like, Jimmy is balling right now, and they are dropping passes. That cannot happen, because I think all of us know that like that bad Jimmy is going to show up at some point. And if he's playing well, you have to pick him up. You have to play well with him. So the fact that they weren't was very frustrating in that moment. But then the weather, I mean, even Aaron Rodgers, look at his numbers. They were garbage in the second half. They couldn't throw the ball. Neither one of them could throw the ball in the second half. I know the stats say Jimmy was 8 for 10 or what have you. But if you look at it, all of those passes were like 4 yards and under, because they just couldn't throw the ball. They couldn't do it in the second half. So I think it was a little bit of a weird game, but Kyle still in the big moments always found like the perfect play outside of that 4th and 1. But he had the Trent Williams in motion early in the game, the Deebo run. I mean, he was just the Deebo Texas route on that final drive. I just felt like he really could have gotten in his bag that game, but the weather and just kind of the elements took it out of him. And I think this week he's going to be able to just play freely or call plays freely.
I agree. And another thing, Stafford, they played the Cardinals and then they played the Bucks, which they almost blew the game. So do you think the pressure is going to get to him? Because they're expecting it to be a home game for the Niners. They're 0-6 against the Niners, and everyone's been saying it's Super Bowl or bust.
It is Super Bowl or bust for that team. I think that's a fair statement. I really do. I think there's a lot of pressure on that whole team, and I don't know if it'll get to them. I will say this. Watching that game the first time through and then rewatching the film on Monday, Stafford's a really good quarterback. I mean, that dude made some throws in that game. Being pressured the way that he was, some of the throws he made were just, I mean, top-notch throws that not many guys in this world can make, maybe 3 or 4 other guys. So he's really, really good. I think that 49er fans have this thought about him because he didn't win in Detroit, which is fair. And they're 2-0 against him, and he hasn't looked great in those games. Like, those are the only real games that they're watching beginning to end, and they're like, this guy's not that good. He's throwing picks against us. I think we have to give the 49ers defense a lot of credit. The 49ers defense is just that good right now. It's not that Matthew Stafford's bad. The 49ers defense is making good quarterbacks look really bad. We saw Dak's a good quarterback, made him look bad. Aaron Rodgers is a good quarterback. They made him look bad. So they did it to Stafford twice. Can they do it again? Yeah, I believe they can, but I don't think that's an indictment on Stafford by any means. I think Stafford's really good. I just think that the Rams are outgunned a little bit in this one.
Yep. That being said, if we win this and we win the Super Bowl, this is a historic run.
Oh,
historic.
Of epic proportions, man. I mean, this one would feel super special. And I don't want the season to end, man. I really don't. I feel this season has given me some really, really good memories, and I hope that it doesn't end on Sunday. And I hope that 49er fans have really, truly enjoyed the ride. I know that it's been contentious. There's been a lot of back and forth. I know the Jimmy Trey thing, and I get caught up into it too. I understand that, but ultimately, this ride has been incredible. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. I don't think it'll end Sunday, but I just hope that it doesn't. I really do.
I don't think either. Score prediction, I think we up by 17, 34-17.
Dang, you guys are coming in strong with the score prediction.
We gotta.
Golly.
Momentum's on our side.
I love it, man. I love it. All right, Edgardo, then I want you to come back next week and celebrate with me.
You know it.
All right, man. We'll talk next week.
All right, bro.
Later. All right. So Rogue Legend, I'm sorry. I gotta cut the show at the Al show. He's gonna be the last caller, so I don't want to waste your time. You can hang out in the back if you want, but I'm not gonna be able to get to you tonight. I gotta limit it because I've still got another 6 or so people in front of you. I appreciate you tapping in, and the show got started a little bit late, so I apologize, but I'm not gonna be able to get to you. All right, Jimmy, I am coming to you next. Now, I gotta say this. You're my guy, and we've had good conversations, but you get a little loose on the tongue, so keep it together on this one, all right? Keep it together. All right, I'm going to throw you in. You're a Bronco fan, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since we've talked. I actually have some questions to you about Aaron Rodgers, but we'll bring you in and get to chatting. What's going on, Jimmy? You're muted. You're muted?
Unmute. I got you, man. I got you. All right. I think that's what you might have wanted, man. You needed me muted. You know?
I didn't mute you. I promise.
I know, man. That was all me. What up, brother? How you?
Hey, how you?
What the? Yeah. All right. So, is the F word okay or not okay?
Try not to, man. Try not to.
Right on. Right. What the heck happened, man? When I first came in here, we were talking about how they were messing, coordinator face. Now we're talking about which coordinator is going to have the face to get hired off that staff because Shanahan's ripping it up, dude. Jimmy James, what the hell, dude? And they're not playing great. They're playing good enough to win, though. And I think that's important, man. I think Deebo Samuel, and I want to hear your, he might be the best player in football, dude. Like athletically, like the biggest playmaker, like Tyreek Hill, fair enough, but Deebo would truck Tyreek, you know what I mean? He would knock him on his butt.
Yeah.
So but I got to give it to you guys, man. I hung around with this podcast. I enjoyed it a lot. Ours isn't doing so hot. We got, less followers and like a really, really bad cult. But I mean, we're trying, I guess we got to get better, like potions or whatever that everyone dies, But
it's go ahead and plug it real quick. It's like beers and brats,
bets, brother.
Yeah, beers and bets. That's what it is. I was thinking beers and brats. Yeah, beers and bets. Go subscribe to these guys. They're a little bit loose with the tongue. I'll get if that's not your cup of tea. But listen, they're funny. They're funny, They're a good listen. Go
They
ahead
aren't
and
funny.
tap
I'm
in
a
with
little
them.
better than that. Don't
You're
funny.
yeah.
Don't listen.
Well, you're the one I interact with, so I think you're funny. But
no,
anyways,
I'm kidding, man. No, it's we're not pros on there, but no, dude. Again, man, I'll give credit to your fans, man. The Niners have a good fan base. You talk about blowing out a like stadium all red and shit. You know, they apparently apologize there, but
no, you're good. You're good. You're fine.
No, but you guys said you're gonna, make it all red there in LA, which I don't think they have fans there. I don't even know if they have a football team in LA. I still think, but they're still cheering for like Kobe. But dude, when they were in Dallas, man, the whole place was red. I was watching the game and I was like, these guys, this channel has something. They're onto something because they're doing something here, man. Like, and that guy walks out with the boombox. And they're all bumping to it, probably playing Mbop or, something from the Hanson Brothers or something. But either way, dude, like they're into it. And no, I will say though, man, and then you can tell me some stuff, you said you had a question or whatever, but that pick by Jimmy G right before halftime, you got to clean that up. You can't be doing that. You needed points out of that drive. The defense, special teams had done everything at that point they could keep you in the game. And like, that was terrible, dude. He rolls out like he's freaking Michael Vick and tries to launch one. And it's like, dude, you don't have the arm strength. And there was double coverage. And remember at the end of the half, right before, and they didn't get points out of that drive. I thought that was important. But at the same time, they just came to play, dude. Like they show up and make plays when, you guys talked about the quarterbacks they've shut down, and they have done it, man. They definitely have. I mean, and again, the fan bit, I don't know, man. So I was laughing when I saw you were going live tonight. I'm like, I gotta hop in there, dude, because dude, come on, like, man.
Something special's happening over here, right? Something special's happening.
Yeah. And I'm sitting there. We had talked about, like, I was talking coordinator face about Fangio, and it's like, well, he won that one. Damn. Like, I was like, well, what? I'll take that coordinator now, man. Yeah, that's just messed up.
I feel it. Okay, so I have to ask you though. Do you think?
I hope.
Do you?
I want.
Do you think?
I love that.
You think there's a chance that Aaron Rodgers is coming?
I've heard that before this year, man. So I would, but I can't. All right. I would be so happy, man. Yeah. I could have kids, because of it. Like, because, man. No, I really, and I believe it, dude. I think we were a few wins away from at least playoff contention, dude. Like the Raiders weren't that much better. So I think that we were right there, man. I will say going in though, a few of your callers before me, I'm not familiar with all the names, but spoke on Cooper Kupp, and I think what Odell's doing, OBJ, like, he's kind of creating a threat that no one really had to deal with until late in the year for the Rams, and also Sony Michel, like they are. And OBJ, dude, like at the beginning of that game, man, that whole first drive, he was like making all the play. And then Cooper Kupp at the end comes in because at halftime they probably went in. I'm not sure, but had some adjustments they were going to make. And it looks like my time's almost out here, so I'll shut up.
No, you're good. You're good, man. Yeah, I think the Rams are a good team. They're a very good team, and they messed up. They messed up because it's their fault that the 49ers are here. They had their foot on our throat. They were up 17-0, week 18, and they let the Gremlins into the playoffs, and here we are. So now it's time to go to the Super Bowl.
Before you cut me, man, I will say, though, it is when you have the best defensive lineman and corner in the league, that's a really good two people to have on the field that can make plays and adjust the game. And so I think, that can be a difference, man. But.
No, it definitely can be for whatever reason though. And I don't know when the last time he recorded a sack against 49ers, but Aaron Donald, he's gone 3 or 4 straight games without really making any noise. Like you have to really pick through the film to find where he's even at on the field at times. So I don't know what that's about. The 49ers interior line is suspect, but Brunskill always seems to I mean, these guys seem to shut them down. I don't know what it is. So,
and it's that quick.
It's
that Shanahan offense, that just quick throw thing.
For sure. And running is always a good way to get people off their spots. So,
yeah. Putting Deebo out there on kick returns, man, that was just crazy. When he came out in the second half, I'm out of here. But when he came out in the second half, dude, that was nuts because you're like, God, they're putting him everywhere. Like they literally
had to.
He was probably selling popcorn when they were on, when the defense was out there. He's out there selling like cotton candy and shit. So, but thanks for having me on, dude.
All right, Jimmy. Have a good one, man. Thanks for tapping in.
Definitely.
Appreciate you. Brandon stepping in. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Go subscribe to his podcast as well. He says Sean Payton said in his retirement press conference that the 49ers are like last year's Bucks. I thought that was interesting. I want to know what the context is there. Why would he be talking about the 49ers in his retirement press conference? That's I don't know. Did they ask a question or whatever? Grant wanted to face the Cardinals in the playoffs earlier this season because he said it would be difficult to beat a team 3 times in one season. I know we own LA, but 3 wins is asking a lot. It actually is a lot easier than what you think, Pizza Diaper. Here's the statistics. It's hard to play a team 3 times in 1 year. It's happened 22 times, including this year's playoffs, by the way, the Rams and the Cardinals. 67% of the time, a team gets swept. So it's actually very, very likely that the 49ers do sweep them in this scenario. It is hard to play them, but it is not necessarily hard to sweep based off the percentages. So let me give you guys some love real quick, and then we'll get over to Jackass Penguin, and then we're coming to you, Jesse. Appreciate you guys waiting. Let me throw this your way. And here we go. Why do you only have 6 colors? I've gone through much more than 6, Shardall. I have, but I started about 30 minutes late because I was on with Grant, and the super chats just kept coming through, and I didn't want to dip on them. So that is why. All right, Jackass Penguin, what's going on?
Hey, Jesse, how you doing, man?
Hey, I'm doing good. Doing really good, actually.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And so, just really quick, I know the previous one of those comments that just came up about the playing the 3 times. It's hard to beat a team 3 times, but the way I look at it at this point is like, well, but the pressure is probably on the Rams to figure it out because everyone's expecting them to figure it out, right? And I just don't know if that's going to happen. But I think you always have to kind of look at it in both ways. I think this game's going to be close. My confidence level, just like the other 2 games, is about a 5 because I think it's safer for me to always kind of go into these games like that because this has been the most unpredictable year, right? I mean, I think I woke up like 2 days ago. I was like, are they actually possibly going to go to the Super Bowl? Like, when did this happen? Like we were. It's so weird just to think about that because they should have lost to the Rams. They absolutely should have lost to the Rams. The way that they looked through the season, they did not look like a playoff team. So I think a lot of us fans need to keep that in perspective too. I know if they lose, it's going to suck and everything like that. But I think the system here is so good, and Shanahan definitely proved me wrong, right? And you, right? I mean, throughout the year,
yeah, absolutely.
He completely did. So, and I think that's a huge thing to take into consideration for this game. I know that the Rams, like, not being able to have a run game, it's like, they could figure out a run game Sunday. And I think that's the scary part too, because McVay is not an idiot, and I don't think that we always have to remember how well coached that team is. But then at the same time, I think Shanahan is that good that I think I'm pretty sure that they're going to have a different game plan than what they've done this year against the Rams too. And I think that's kind of key. I think it definitely is going to be a kind of a battle of wits, between these 2 coaches, because it's been that way the whole time. I mean, when he's celebrating in the end zone, it's personal, and all that.
Of course it is.
I get it. I mean, hey, that would have been a sweet way to eliminate us. Like that was a big deal for them too. But now it's all on the line, and it's definitely gonna require McVay to elevate. And I think that's kind of where I give the edge to Shanahan, because he's just the no emotion that we were criticizing him about all year is kind of like what we're thanking him for right now. So
no, it's a good point. And I think that I think the Rams are pressing a little bit. I do. I think they've got the talent. I think they have the coaching, but when you're pressing, and you can kind of see it. They almost fell apart last week, 27-3, and almost blew that game. That's bad. That tells me there's something wrong with that team. So I think they can definitely be had, even if they get up in front. The 49ers can come back on them. They did it once. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers almost did it to them last week. I think that there's something going on over there. There's some unwritten something that is showing up time and time again with those Rams.
Yeah, and I think when you see a lot of these scores that you don't necessarily agree with, like the blowouts, and I think it's like you and I are probably like, no, hold on, it's probably going to be closer than that, right? Well, I feel that way too, but then you just look back at the box scores, and it's like, well, how many times could this 49ers team actually, actually blow them out? It's a lot. They really have the potential to, and it's not just against the Rams. How many times could they have blown out a team this year? Like that's just kind of their whole thing. And when you look at all the losses that they had this year, it's the magic number for Jimmy is 2. If he turns it over twice, they're going to lose. If he doesn't, they'll be fine. I think it's just that simple of an equation for this team, because he really isn't, I'm not saying he's not a factor. He certainly is a factor. He's a huge factor, but just the way that this offense is set up, it's that second turnover that will do him in. I mean, when I look through it, I think it's just that. I think everyone's going to probably overanalyze the crap out of this game in the next couple days. And it's always been that way, don't turn it over. And, I think they definitely could have the potential to blow them out. But I also know that Kittle was like a non-factor in that Week 18 game. And I was like, I don't think that's really going to happen again. And I mean, the way he's been going to him, he's basically been a safety valve that, Jennings was in that game. And they can kind of go to both of those guys. So,
yeah, well, he needs to be. I mean, he needs to be more than what he's been, because he had one game with no catches. I think one game with one catch. I think he caught one against Dallas and then 4. So he's been kind of he had the one that he blew, right? Should have been caught, possible touchdown. But outside of that, like Kittle he definitely makes his presence in the run game. No doubt about that. But yeah, they're going to need something from him in the pass game for sure. Because he's a weapon. He's a weapon. He is. Hey, if he's blocking that well and Mitchell has a gigantic game, then great. I mean, I think that it's funny. Mitchell's numbers, was it week 7 or whatever they played him the first time versus 18 it's like exactly the same. And I feel like that can go either way. It's either the Rams are going to learn something, they're going to adjust something, or he's going to have just a monster game. And because Trent Williams wasn't playing, so I don't know how much that affected Elijah Mitchell, and he's no Mostert. Man, it's hard. It's tough. Mostert not being around, it's like you realize really how great he was. He's so fast. Like Mitchell's so fast, and Mostert makes him look slow. I mean, it's true. Ridiculous. It's true. But Mitchell's, that guy never goes backwards, man. They would be a great pairing together. They really would. Those two together, if Mitchell got like 17 carries a game, Mostert got like 8 carries a game, those two would be really, really tough to stop. Yeah, it was a shame that they couldn't. It was perfect. It was a setup, a perfect 1-2. But now he's been tough. He's kind of had that confidence, I guess. Just in that first game against Detroit when he punched it in like early, it's just like, this guy actually knows where to go, and he has gotten better, right? I mean, I remember when he was just all about speed, and he definitely did not have the vision, and that's definitely gotten better too. So, I think this game is going to be just interesting, because I think it can still go in a lot of different ways. It's just, I do too. Just when you think you have it figured out, last week shows you that you don't. And that's what this year's been about. I mean, the Titans game, what was that? Yeah. The Seattle first game, what was that? Yeah. The second one, that was the weirdest, most terrible special teams game we've ever seen. And then they were amazing. And it's not just the 49ers either, though. It's the whole league. It's been so hard to figure out the whole year. It really has. So yeah, I'm with you, man. You got to give it to me. Give me a final score prediction. I think it'll be 23-17 Niners. I think they're good enough in different ways. Like I said, I think it's really about those 2 turnovers. I think that's the magic number. Unless like Mitchell's like absolutely not being stopped, which is possible, right? But for sure, it's all based on that second turnover. I think 23-17 is pretty reasonable, because this team just,
Yeah, I think they could potentially blow any team out because they have those players, but it's just that Jimmy factor that keeps it close. So
I feel it. I do.
Yeah.
All right, man. I got to get to the next one. I appreciate you calling in. We'll talk on Twitter.
All right, man. Have a good one.
All right, later. All right, couple super chats coming in. First of all, I wanted to address this comment. 4 freak turnovers in the second half. Something wrong with this team. Who is this guy? I mean, you really, that's it? You're chalking it up to 4 freak turnovers? We're not talking 1 turnover. We're not even talking 2. We're talking 4 turnovers. I mean, at some point, like, it's just who you are. I don't know. You tell me. That's 2 big leads they've given up in a 3-week time span. But if they're freak turnovers, they're freak turnovers. George says, Fred Warner needs to stop mocking the Rams players. Our players are too confident. Please be cautious. That's scaring me. Just saw it on ESPN. I'll have to check that out. Fred Warner? I don't know. I feel like all pro Fred doesn't really mock people, but I got to believe you because you said it and you paid to say it. So belief is there. I just got to see it with my own eyes for sure. All right, let me give you some love and then we'll go to you, Jesse. I appreciate you so much for waiting. All right, Jesse, what's going on?
Can you hear me?
I got you.
Okay, hey, how you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for waiting. I appreciate you.
No problem. I just wanted to check in. I love what you said on Crocky Show this morning about Jimmy. I just hate when Jimmy fans say that they talk about the Jimmy wins, and like the performance Josh Allen gave in the playoff game, like that was just one of the greatest performances you ever see, but he lost. And you can't tell me that Jimmy is better than Josh Allen. I don't understand that. Like that's crazy to me.
I don't think anybody in their right mind. I hope nobody in their right mind believes that one.
And I hate when people say, "Oh, well, Jimmy's just doing what Cal asked him to do." But in my opinion, like I think we're just doing what Jimmy limitations are. Like he's not. He can't. It's certain things he can't do. It's not like he's good enough to do everything. I don't understand that. But I'm not a Jimmy hater. I don't care who's on the center. I just want the Niners to win because I'm 31. The last time we won a Super Bowl, I was like 4 years old. I don't really remember that. I want to see the Niners win a championship that I can remember. But I feel like some of these Jimmy fans, they're bigger Jimmy fans than they are Niner fans, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think, and I feel like that could be kind of said both ways. Like, trust me, I get it, dude. It's frustrating, like hearing he just wins, whatever. But I really have kind of come to this epiphany. So I was on Crocker's show. That was 2 days ago, I think. Now time's just bleeding together, but I started to really think about it. Like, why is there such a divide? And I don't know if you heard me talking about this earlier on this show, but I feel like there's a divide because both sides are right. Because the side that's like a staunch Jimmy supporter says, well, he wins. That's not a lie. I mean, regardless of the reason why, like the fact is they win games when he plays. Now, we could say that's because they had third string quarterbacks. And of course, he's better than third string quarterbacks. He is starting level. But let's just set that aside. Right. He wins games. But the flip side of that, though, is we on the other side are saying, well, he's a liability, which is also true. Because when you go unit by unit, he is the weak link. He's not better than the offensive line. He's not better than the running game or defensive line. So it's like both sides are right, and nobody's willing to give an inch. And so you've just got this great divide happening. It's an interesting concept, man. It really is.
Right. And me personally, I've grown to accept what Jimmy is. Like, he's going to play good for a little while, and then he's going to do something that's going to have you like, what was that?
Yeah,
me personally, I just hope Sunday, the crazy play that he does, I hope is done early in the game. It's not in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left and it's too late to overcome it. I just hope he get it out the way, and if we can overcome it and still win the game. But another thing that trips me out is I've been saying, it's like everyone's saying that it's hard to beat a team 3 times or whatever. In my opinion, like if you're the better football team, it don't matter how many times you play that team. Like if you're the better team, you're gonna win. So I don't understand that, but it is what it is. As far as the score, I'm gonna go 27-24. I feel like
Okay.
it's still gonna be close because I mean it's a division rival, but I don't know. I just feel like it's meant for us to go to the ship and win it because like I mean like we literally won last week because of our special teams, and our special teams have been bad all year, and like I don't know. I just feel like it's meant to be.
Yeah, I feel you. There's something special about this team, like really special about this team, and I love watching it. I don't want it to come to an end. I don't think it's going to. I think the 49ers find a way to win and push it to the Super Bowl. And man, if we get a rematch against the Chiefs, that I mean, talk about a storybook ending if they can figure out a way to win that one. So I'm in, man. I'm 100% in. This season's got me hooked, and I don't want it to end for sure.
Straight up, man. Straight up.
Hey, thanks for calling in. You got anything else? Or are you good?
I'm good, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Jesse. I appreciate you. Have a good one, man.
All right. You too.
All right. All right. Listen, I've got 230 of you watching. So if you have not done so, please subscribe, hit the bell notification so you never miss an episode. We still got a few more callers, but just got to get the plug in real quick. Justice, I am sorry. I'm not going to get to you tonight, man. I've got a few people in front of you. I got started late. It's like 12, little past 12 over here. And my dog's got to go to the bathroom. So just being real, I'm not going to get to you tonight. And then Nick, check your text messages. Hopefully you can hear me right now, but check your text messages. Jeremy, we're going to you in just a second. George says, I mean, everybody saw Kyle Shanahan when he used Trey's actual talents. He won. So it's not only Jimmy that wins. That needs to be put into perspective. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, they can win games with other quarterbacks. I just think Jimmy's a starting caliber quarterback is what it comes down to. And I think Kyle can win with a starting caliber quarterback. And Jimmy is that. So I know that people are like, oh, he's trash. And he's a starting caliber quarterback. It doesn't matter how you want to slice that. That's the facts of it. So, all right, Jeremy, what's going on?
What up? What up, Jess?
What up?
Hey, so I was just a few things, you know, just a few things. I want to talk about just a few things. Shout out to all the haters, the Jimmy haters, man. God. Oh my God. You already know. You know. So,
listen, I get it. But see, the thing is you're that rare guy, and there's a couple of you that are floating around there like, I don't care. I just want to win. I don't care who the quarterback is. And that's cool. I respect that stance. I really do. I think it's a great stance to have. I do.
And the way I feel, right? So I'm not saying now, listen to me close. Hear me out, please. He sat behind Tom Brady, right? Not saying he's Tom Brady, Jess.
No. I feel it.
Not saying he's nowhere close to Tom Brady, but he sat behind Tom Brady. And he's like the simple ball guy, right? So if he goes into this game and throws a few long balls and hits like 2 throws like the one he missed in the Super Bowl, what do you say?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is, and this is what I've been saying. I've been trying to tell people. Obviously, you know, I'll say whatever about Jimmy. I say some crazy things too. I'm not going to say that I don't. But the flip side of that is just win a Super Bowl. I don't care.
I don't care how you do it.
If they win a Super Bowl, then it's like I don't care what happens after that. Like, extend them, trade them, build a statue. I don't care. Just win a Super Bowl. That's all that matters.
And build the statue.
Yeah, right.
No. And speaking of statues, we don't need him being a statue in this week, this coming week game.
Facts.
I need you running, Jimmy. I need you running.
Yeah,
run.
That's factual.
Run.
That is factual.
Man, I was so happy about that win, dude. For real. Like that was like, God, that felt so good, you know, to go in there and do what he did. But it's crazy because like all the critics they're always down on him for all the flaws. And then, you know, I thought he I thought he played well, minus the two really bad passes. One of the rinky-dink ones, and then the interception, obviously. But I wanted to enough of Jimmy. I really want to get on. I want to address the wide receivers, man. We need guys like Jerry. We need guys like the great wide receivers, Terrell Owens. I'm not making excuses for Jimmy. What I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure you've played football too. What made me unstoppable was I went to the ball. I didn't let it wait. I didn't wait for it to come to me. And that the defender in that play went to that ball. And if Kittle blocks him, I don't know. It's all heat of the moment. I get it. But all I'm saying is, dude, we need dogs, not just on defense. We need dogs on offense. You need to catch that ball, and you need to go get that ball. Go get that ball. I spent a lot of time last week watching a lot of Steve Young and Joe Montana highlights, and there's a lot of underthrown balls, but there's also a lot of great catches. You know what I mean? Like,
can I bring this up real quick? Because I was actually having this conversation, not specifically about the 49ers, but just about receivers in today's NFL.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. There's not many guys that attack the ball the way that it used to be attacked back in the day. You look at some of those 90s wide receivers, maybe it's because they were less athletic, and so they had to be physical, or maybe it was just more of a physical time, so they had to be physical. But I feel like that throw was on Jimmy, but at the same time,
that throw
Kittle didn't work back to the ball at all.
Right.
But it's not just Kittle. It's receivers across the league. They don't work back to the ball. And it's something that it's a lost art a little bit. I see it a lot in a lot of these games. I really do. You got to be aggressive and chase down the ball.
Don't you see the potential you saw? You remember that crazy ass, or excuse my language, that crazy catch from Ayuk last week?
Oh, for sure.
Like third and whatever.
Yeah.
And he snatched that ball. You know what I mean? We need that energy. We need that energy. Every down, I don't care where Jimmy put it. If it's catchable, dude, you got to go up and get it.
For sure.
He misses high. Even if Trey Lance is in there and he misses high, I don't want to hear he throws too hard. He needs more touch. I don't want to hear none of that shit. I'm ready to win, Jess. I'm ready to win. And
I'm with you. Somebody brought up Anquan Bolden. Somebody brought up Anquan. That's a great example of it right there. Anquan Bolden attacked the ball.
Go get that ball, man. This Niner gang, and he's my quarterback until he's not. And he go out there and I don't give a damn what it is. It could be they're calling it magic juice, or I don't know what it is. I honestly think he's not only a semi good quarterback, but I also think he's a really good morale booster. Right, it's like on a job, right? I'm on jobs, and we literally hire some guys to keep the project going. Keep guys motivated, and I think Jimmy's that guy, bro. I really do, because we're different, and it's proven. I mean, we'll see. I don't want to get too confident or cocky. Yeah, we beat them 6 times or 5 times. It's time to go again, man. It's time to show up. Let's just worry about one game at a time. Super Bowl, that can wait. We need to win this week. We need to win this week. And you know what I mean? We have a whole team that's doing great right now. And it just seems like, I know why you bring it up, because it's a hot topic, and this is what you do. This is your job, to bring up that subject. But as a fan and a loyalist, I'm saying we got a whole team to talk about, and we still talking about one.
Here's the problem, and I'm gonna get to a super chat here in a minute, because I have to address it. But and you'll hear my thoughts on that. But I think you bring up a good point, and it's gonna tee up the super chat that Gavin threw out, and I want to address it. But Jeremy, what's the official score prediction before I get you out of here?
You know my answer to this, man. It does not matter. We need to win. We need to win.
I feel it.
And it does not matter what it is. I don't know.
I'm still going to ask you every week.
Yeah. We're in the playoffs, man. And I'm not going to try to I'm a fan. I'm not a commentator. I'm not Jess. You know what I mean? I'm an average Joe Blow rooting for my team. I don't know. They need to get out there on that field and win. That's what I'll
win
say.
the game.
You know
I feel it. I feel it. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm
with
you.
Jess, thanks, brother. Go Niners. Niners.
Yes, sir.
Gang. Real Niners in here, man. Let's go.
Let's go. All right,
Later,
Jeremy.
brother.
We'll talk later. All right. George says this man loves Jimmy, but he doesn't understand his quarterback is not doing anything. Our defense has saved us, special teams. Yeah, but again, the flip side is like we just keep winning. Like we just keep winning. At some point, he's gonna have to do something, but just keep winning. All right, Gavin. I'm glad that I found this comment. So I think it's a great comment, and it's a good jumping off point for just a quick combo. So Gavin says no other fans complain so much about the team playing in the conference championship. Spoiled fans don't remember how bad it was before Jimmy. Okay, I hear you. I really do. But my rebuttal to that is the 49ers brought this upon themselves. Let's not forget that they, not me, it wasn't me. It wasn't you, Gavin. It wasn't me. It wasn't you. We didn't trade to go get Trey Lance and bring him in. That wasn't us. That was the 49ers. What did they expect was going to happen? Every time you have a young, seem-to-be stud on the bench and you have a veteran quarterback that is or plays from time to time, every time that game happens, they are going to call for his head. That's what happens. It's the history of the NFL. So the 49ers brought this upon themselves. It's just what it is. So I agree with you. Listen, let's just go win. I want to win. I don't care about anything else. But the flip side of that is also this. I remember when the 49ers were 2-0, and I was constantly bringing up that there were issues with this team. And people were like, you're so negative. They're 2-0. They're 2-0. You're so negative. And then the 49ers lost 4 straight, 5 of the next 6 or whatever it was. It's because there was problems there. Just because you win, it doesn't mean there's not problems. So hopefully those problems don't bite him. Hopefully, because Jimmy also is not as bad as what he's played, in my opinion. I think he's better than what he's played. But he's going to have to play better. At some point, you're going to run up against a high-flying offense. The Rams may not be it, but the Chiefs certainly are. And if he doesn't play better against these teams, they're not going to win the Super Bowl. So I get it, but at the same time, I have to push back a little bit because I think that there are some things that are missed in context. So hopefully you understand that. I appreciate you showing some love, and let me give it right back to you. All right, 2 more. I got Will, and I got the Owl Show. Let's get it rocking. Will, hopefully you're ready. You've been waiting patiently. I appreciate you.
Yes,
What's going
sir.
on, Will?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic. What's on your mind?
Yeah. So I wanted to say something. I believe like we're so spoiled, kind of. So let me. I'm gonna go way back when we were losing. Tom Sula and Chip Kelly.
Yeah, it was
And
bad.
then these were terrible years for us. And then Cal came in to build the team with Lynch. We were cool with that because we knew who he is as a coach. Then we start losing. It was kind of looking bad, but I still love Cal as a coach. And then the trade coming for Jimmy G, that man runs 6 straight games. It felt like he was sent from heaven for us. And
I remember that, man. And I think everybody got caught up in that.
Exactly. And honestly, even I got caught up in it because we were losing. And I'm like, gosh, this guy is winning. He's winning for us in everything. And he got injured. We were losing. Yeah. The man got paid in the offseason as an injury guy. He was getting paid. He was like a top 2 or 3, as a guy that was getting more money for a quarterback. So he was getting starter money. And I think from that point, the team has elevated at a point, surpassed his level. You know what I'm saying? And he still remained at the same pace as it was when he came in. And the team has gotten better to the point where he become the weakest link.
That's a very good point. I think you're putting it very well. I agree with you.
Yeah, so that's where the frustration comes in. You can stay healthy, and then to the point where Cal has to draw a perfect game plan for you, and then it comes to your limitation and everything. That's where the thing become divided, and it took us to a Super Bowl. I was still cool with it, even though the team was a running team more than a passing team. He threw the ball 8 times and went to the Super Bowl. We were running the ball for the most part, and then when it's time to earn his money, to make the big play, that's what we got him for. He missed those key plays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's when we start to turn off on him, man, and we're like, you're not doing what you were paid to do. It was no brainer. That's where Kyle started shopping for a new quarterback. He was looking for Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, even that dude from Carolina. What's his name? He was playing for the Jet.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold, yeah. Cal wanted a new QB because the team was going up. The stock was going up, the whole team. But Jimmy G's stock remained the same, neutral, like right in the middle. He doesn't go up. Well, he went down more than went up. I'm not saying he doesn't come in the clutch, because I believe his clutch when he has to get rid of the ball, like in the past 2 minutes. And then when we draft Trey, Cal was telling people how much he loved Trey. He was drawing plays for him in the combine. Then we got him. The loyal fans, the Jimmy stands, they kind of stalk him like, the guy is winning. You looking at the winning side, but you're not looking at his production. Like, if I'm paying you $25 million a year, that's starting money. I'm not paying you to give me 1 or 2 good plays.
Yeah.
That's where he kind of messed it up for everybody else. Now he got to put Trey in a bad situation, a lot of pressure, and you're like, well, the locker room love Jimmy. Well, duh, he spent 4 or 5 years with those guys, most of them, and he's a leader. I can't deny that. No, the
For
team
sure he is.
rallies behind him. Like, I really appreciate that, but at some point, there's no way you can tell me the defense is happy when he turned the ball over. There's no way they're happy. They're not gonna say because he's their guy. They're not going on national TV and say like, "Oh, quarterback messed up." But you think they were happy about it? Like the other night, when we play against the Green Bay, they made a great stop. And once we got to the end zone, I'm not gonna put the whole game on him because, Kittle dropped 1 and Jalen dropped 1, but at the
Ayuk
same
dropped
time,
1 too.
Exactly. So the whole offense was off. We couldn't get anything going in the first or second quarter until we go to the first half, and then into the INC. But I want to tell you something. I feel like this team is special. Started from Tennessee. Everything we're doing right now to this point had led us to a Super Bowl. I just really feel like it. That's why I'm not taking this season for granted. Because what happened against Tennessee, we were cooking, and then Jimmy J happened. And as a fan, we kind of expected. But guess what? Dante Johnson was getting cooked by AJ Brown.
Yep.
Kel Williams wasn't there. So, and Brown was lined up in the slot, going vertical. He was touching everybody. And the defensive coach, he make an adjustment the following week against Houston. You see how we were tying up the middle. The guy was throwing deep ball. We kind of cover. You have 2 guys, like 2 safety going down the field with whoever was going down deep. And then special team happened against Green Bay. we fixed that. I mean, they came clutch when they're supposed to, when we had nothing going on for us. And then Dallas. Well, it wasn't with you, but I actually called Grant one time we were talking. I was talking to him. I told him, Trent Williams, once he get back against Dallas, he will get an INT because Dak, he likes to throw the ball to the slot receiver.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And Trent Williams comes in, he clicked him. I knew he got beat, against Amari Cooper. Well, this dude is great with the route. So he got beat on that, but guess who got the INT? It was him. And then against Green Bay, guess who showed up? Our defense. All three faces of the team showed up at one point. We had more adversity this year than we had the year we went to the Super Bowl. I feel like the 2019 team was more finesse than a hard-nosed team, that will punch you in the mouth. Yeah. Which also kind of remind me of Bill Walsh's team, because I was looking at a document. It says every time somebody call the 49ers a fitness team, who wants to punch them in the mouth every single time.
They had that dog in them, and a lot of teams don't, and that's why the Niners are able to do what they're doing. Will, I appreciate you calling in. I got to get to the next one, my guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. I appreciate the call, and keep doing what you're doing, man. You're doing great.
Absolutely. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
No problem, man.
All right. Okay, let me get to these real quick. House of Jello says, you a Christian? Yes, absolutely I am. No doubt about it. George says, I'm not a Jimmy hater, but all I'm saying is that you get paid so much money in the offseason. Why are you not developing? That's what makes me mad. Yeah, you know what's crazy about Jimmy? I think Will brought up some really good points. He just kind of never got better. And, for whatever reason, who knows what those reasons are? Maybe it's the injuries, what have you. But he had footwork issues. I remember, I've probably still got the text. I never delete them. But I was texting with my friend Adam, and we were talking about it. And he's like, oh, man, we got Jimmy, and it looks so good. And I agreed with him. I was very excited. But I said, he's got some footwork issues that he's got to clean up. He just never did. So, M49er, I get Jimmy wins. But what happens if we make the Super Bowl and lose again because Jimmy's limitations? So what's the point if Jimmy just wins? Yeah, I mean, this could go either way. It really could. I just hope that it doesn't end in a loss. I really do. Only one team can win a Super Bowl. I understand that, but I want it to be a win. You do know that after Saturday, it's Sunday. Keeping it going from Grant Show. I like it. You were dropping those nuggets in there, Tinker. I appreciate you for sure. All right, let me show y'all some love real quick, and then we'll get to the Al Show and wrap this baby up. Here you go. The comments sometimes in here crack me up. All right, Al Show, I appreciate you hanging tight. We're gonna get to you right now. What's going on?
Hi, how are you? First time here.
Great. Hey, nice I'm glad you're calling in. Yeah, thanks for calling in.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, I appreciate it, especially at the end. I'm taking this objectively because I'm not a fan of either team, not a fan of the 49ers or the Rams, though I do like the way they play.
Who are you a fan of real quick before you get there?
Three teams. They all did in Steelers, Raiders, Cowboys. So they all lost in the playoffs. So I got no dog in the hunt. And so I'm at the easy point. I don't have to worry about anybody right now. Actually, this is easy for me because I'm like, I don't have to worry, no concern. Just I always look at the best matchups at this point. No dog in the hunt. So I have to say objectively that the 49ers Rams really is the best matchup when you look at the conference championship. It really is. One, because the 49ers and Rams played at the last game of the year. So this is a rematch. And what that does is it rules out any overall confidence that both teams have. The Rams don't have a lot of confidence because they know they lost to the 49ers. And the 49ers knew that, they won, but they won in overtime, and it was a close game. So This makes for a better championship game, in my view, right? You know, the typical nonsense that you see in the NFL, hype and all that crap, is going to play into factor. Now, let me just briefly analyze both games, divisional round games, right? 49ers and Rams. I think the reason why the 49ers won against the Packers was, one, they were playing chess and the Packers were playing checkers. Now, what I mean by that is the 49ers understood the game that they were in, whereas the Packers didn't get the game they wanted. I think the Packers wanted a modestly explosive offensive game where they would score 2-3 touchdowns at least, because that's what the Packers offense is. The 49ers weren't going to get that in that game. So what they did was rely on their special teams. And much like in a chess game, their special teams were like knights on a chessboard. And they were making moves. Right. And that's why they were beating the Packers. Let's be really honest. When you look at that block that resulted in the touchdown for the 49ers, the Packers were stunned. And the Packer fans were stunned. They weren't ready for that. They were not ready for that. Therefore, the 49ers were thinking tactically and not simply strategically. They were putting tactics into. Now, when I look at that Rams game, I got to be honest. I thought the Rams would be eliminated by the Cardinals early on. I thought it'd be a close game, and it didn't. The Rams have played better in the playoffs than I imagined. They've scored over 25 points per game. They can get touchdowns. They can certainly get field goals. They've demonstrated that they're offensively a very tough team to beat. That Rams game against the Buccaneers smelled. I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't want to go too far in this because it will be controversial. But I'm telling you, you look at some of the plays in the third and fourth quarter, especially that botched snap. That wasn't a snap. That was a backwards pass. There's no way that should have been a pass, almost equivalent, basically a pass, and the Buccaneers get that. You also have to look at the play. Von Miller hits Brady, gets a strip, I think it was a strip sack and recovery, and then you have that botched snap. Again, there are things about that game that smell, they're very suspicious. But what the Rams demonstrated was, even when they gave up at one point, and they had a 24-point lead, and they gave up at least a couple touchdowns and more to the Buccaneers, that they could pull out a victory in that game, as flawed as it was. And again, very suspicious. So the problem the 49ers have with the Rams this time is the 49ers have to be able to get a lead at some point. First or second quarter, you got to get a lead on them. You got to at least sit on a lead in the first half. If the 49ers are forced to do what they did in the game at the end, which is to come back from 17 points, I don't know if they'll be able to pull it out. So my suggestion, the way I see it for 49ers, they got to get a lead early on. Keep it close, but this might go to overtime, but you don't want the Rams to come back at the end. You want to get the ball in the fourth and be able to get either a field goal or touchdown, depending on what you need. So that's what I think the 49ers need to do if they win. And I would say if they do win and go to the Super Bowl, you don't want to face the Chiefs. You do not want to face the Chiefs. Because I'm telling you, I'm sure those people that remember, you fans out there, the 49ers who remember the 49ers Chiefs game, Super Bowl, that smelled too. I can't go into detail here. I would advise you to look at it. But that Super Bowl smelled. And I got to be brutally honest, I think the 49ers got a raw deal in that Super Bowl. Again, I know it's controversial to say this for some people.
I understand.
I'm telling you.
There was no holding calls. One of the worst offensive lines versus the best defensive line. You couldn't give us one holding call, not one. Come on.
And you had hits against Jimmy G that went uncalled.
Hits to the
blatant
face mask and stuff. Yep.
You gotta be. And I'm telling you, the 49ers. If you guys make it a Super Bowl, you don't want to face the Chiefs because there might be chicanery afoot. That's all. I'm just warning you. I'm just warning you. Ask, if you guys make it, better hope for the Bengals so that it's 1982 all over again.
Hey, there we go. There we go. I love it.
All right.
Hey, thanks for calling
All
in,
right.
man. Not being a fan of the Niners, I think that's cool that you called in either way. I appreciate you.
All right.
Have a good night,
I think it's a good matchup. I like the way they play. They're an exciting team to look at. And
I love it.
I liked what some of the people had to say, and I liked some of what you had to say. So thank you very much. I really appreciate you having me up. I really do.
Thanks for coming on. All right. Have a good night,
Thank
man.
you. You too.
All right. Niner by Nature. Best name ever, by the way. Tapping in again. He says, I asked Greg Harris this in a chat room, but what is knowing the playbook versus understanding the playbook for Trey Lance? Does that look like Allen? Yeah. Okay. So I can give an example of this. Let me do this real quick. Hold up. Change this around so I don't have to dodge this this stupid call-in banner over here. And I'll address this. Okay. So facts. Trey Lance, about 2 weeks in, knew the playbook. That's what his QB coach said. That's what Shanahan confirmed many months later. So that is the way that went down. But it's not it's less about understanding the playbook more than it is basically knowing what to do when you're on the field. So like he knows what the plays are, but what he's doing is he's reading a wide receiver versus reading a defender. So I'll give an example. If Shanahan draws up a play, his plays are designed to put a defensive player in conflict. He knows what the assignments are of that defensive player on any given coverage. And so he's trying to put a player in conflict. Well, what Trey is doing is he's getting on the field and he's watching what his receiver is doing. What he needs to be doing is realizing there are two routes being ran to put a player in conflict. He needs to keep his eyes on that player so that he knows which receiver to go to. So that's something that will come with time. And Josh Allen, great example of that. No doubt about it. He sees the field perfectly now. He has all the skills. For my money, I think Josh Allen right now is the best quarterback in the league. I just saw him go up against Mahomes. I saw them both on the field together. I'm taking Josh Allen. I really am. But if Trey can be even close to either one of those guys, with Shanahan play calling, the young unit that the 49ers have in place, it's going to be tough to beat the 49ers for a long, long time. But it won't be that way right away. Regardless of how good he ends up being, it will not be that way right away. It'll take a couple years, and we'll see how it plays out. But I appreciate you. Let me make sure I didn't miss any other comments. Boom, boom. I think we're good there. Yeah, somebody said the Bills defense let him down. No question about that. Definitely let him down. Let me show you some love, Niner by Nature. Okay, so I know that I said I was going to end it on that last call, and I am. But I'm just going to bring this guy in for 30 seconds to plug his podcast because he's my guy. We watched the game together this last Saturday in Tampa, and he always gives me love. We've become pretty good friends this year. Definitely appreciate his friendship. My guy Nick from Nothing But Niners. What's up, Nick? You there?
What's going on, dude?
What's going on, man?
Man,
how you doing? You at work?
Nah, I just got home, so I'm yeah, just pulled up to the house and gotta be up in another hour and 45 minutes. So for work again, but still on a high from Saturday night, man. It was great seeing you, obviously. Thanks for coming out and hooking up and drink, getting all hype and shit. That video we had was pretty hype. So.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And we were going to go to the NFC Championship if it was here in Tampa, and it was not meant to be, but it is what it is, as long as the Niners win. So we were just texting. Obviously, I got to go because I got to let my dog out.
Yeah,
you got to get some sleep. Man. But since you hung around, I figured pretty much anybody in this chat probably knows who you are, but if not, where can they find your content?
Yeah, you guys can check me out on obviously our YouTube channel. That's Nothing But Niners, all spelled out. And you can also check us out on Twitter at Nothing But 9ERS. Tommy Huxley, my dude, I see he says, "Is that Nick the crybaby?" I love you, Tommy. I love you, baby. That's my dude. He's always calling me a crybaby. But anyway, no, you can check me out. And then my personal Twitter is 49er Faithful 365 all day, every day. You know that. And yeah, I just want to come and show some love, man, and see how you're doing. And I might still come to Tampa this weekend just for Gasparilla, but we'll see.
Okay. It's supposed to be cold as hell. So
It is. It is,
yeah.
bro. And then
but
Vegas the following weekend for Super Bowl.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. Well, if you come into town, hit me up for sure. We'll get together again.
Yeah, for sure. You know that. But yeah,
All
man,
right,
I
brother.
appreciate you. Appreciate everything you guys do, man. And guys, if you're not already, if you're here and it's your first time, hit that like and subscribe button for my dude Jesse.
I appreciate you, Nick. I appreciate you. Well, that's a good way to end it, guys. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Definitely hit the like and subscribe. And I'll be back again tomorrow. I'll be on Jack Hammer's channel. We're doing a little round robin over there with Rob Shue and Aaron from 49ers First Takes. And then 10:30 Eastern on this channel, me and my co-host Rad, we are going to be breaking down both these conference championship games. So not only will you hear why I think the Niners are going to win, I think he's picking the Rams. So I'm curious to see what he says there. But also who we think the 49ers are going to be playing in the Super Bowl. So appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Nick, appreciate you tapping in.
Yes,
and we'll talk later, brother.
All right. See you, boys.
Peace, y'all.